Welcome to It's a Piece of Cake. I'm Lima, and in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to make a chocolate case Easter egg but with cake inside. So to get the actual Easter egg shape, I do have a plastic chocolate mold that I've used in previous tutorials. I'm just going to use that one again, and in that I'm just going to drizzle on some tempered chocolate. So I've got some tempered chocolate into a piping bag and I'm just kind of drizzling it on, popping that in the fridge and letting that completely set. When it has set, I'm going to add some white tempered chocolate, and I've let that white tempered chocolate cool down before I've added it onto the milk chocolate. And you need to do that because if your white chocolate is still warm, it will just melt that milk chocolate that you have let set in the fridge. And if that does happen, it doesn't matter because it will just marble them together. But if you want that distinctive between the milk and the white, just make sure your white chocolate is quite cool when you're doing this layer. So I'm just using a spoon just to make sure I've got that white chocolate nice and evenly throughout the entire case, and then I'm going to pop it in the fridge and let that set and firm. When it has firmed, it comes away from the mold very easily. As you can see, just pops right out, and then you've got that beautiful white and milk chocolate. If you didn't want to do the two tones like I have, you can just do one solid color. It's really up to you. But now what we're going to do is just do the exact same thing as we did earlier with the tempered chocolate. Just kind of drizzle on some all around just so the back and the front look similar or the same. You don't have to do this part if you're going to fill it with cake. That's nice if you want to do that, if you want to keep it as a chocolate bowl, because you can make these Easter egg chocolate bowls as well, or you can make like a sundae out of it. You can fill it with Easter eggs. It's really up to you. But like I said, in today's tutorial we're going to be filling it with cake. So here I've got some ganache, and I'm just spooning on the ganache to get a nice thick layer of ganache. You want your ganache or buttercream to be quite thick here so the cake can stick into that and the chocolate so it all comes connected together. So once you've got your nice layer of ganache in there, then you're going to, I've already pre-baked a cake. Well, mine's a store-bought cake, but pre-bake your cake, and then that way you can just cut it into the shape that you need and then pop it right in. And if you do make your case ahead of time, it's easy just to do all the rest of the steps on the day. So here I've got my cake and I'm squishing it in there, and you can add layers of buttercream and ganache if you want to. I'm not, I'm just kind of pushing in the cake, and then I'm just going to seal the back with some more ganache. Now I'm going to show you two ways of doing this cake. So this is going to be the first way, and then later I'm going to show you the second way of doing it. So again, with the ganache, I'm just going to put it on and then smooth it so we've got a nice flat back. Now I wanted to quickly mention, if you don't have a plastic mold that's the Easter egg shape, if you have purchased yourself an Easter egg, you can use the mold, the plastic mold that your Easter egg came in. So I always keep those molds because they're great to use, they're food safe. So any Easter eggs that you've bought, keep the molds of them. Here I've cut a board about the same size as my Easter egg, and then I'm going to turn it around and pop it onto that board. So like I said, two ways I'm going to show you. This is one way of it. So you can flip it onto the board, and then you've got this kind of Easter egg shape, but it's half a cake. So you could have this on a board and decorate it with, say for example, some grass and add some Easter eggs on the board. It will look really cute, and it's a much easier way of doing it. So like I said, you can pop this onto a board, add some grass, add some Easter eggs onto your board, decorate your board, and it will look like, you know, a nice big Easter egg on a board with the grass and the Easter eggs. So that's one way of doing it. The second way of doing it is if you wanted more like a 3D kind of big, fat, bulky, round Easter egg, is do the exact same thing as we did earlier. And as you can see here, I did this intentionally so you can see, if your white chocolate is warm, you will notice that it kind of marbles through with the milk chocolate, so you get that kind of melted look, and that happens if your white chocolate was too warm. It melts that milk chocolate, as you can see, lightly in those areas. Now obviously we're going to repeat everything all over again like we did earlier. A nice thick layer of ganache, because like I said, the thick layer of ganache connects the chocolate case and the cake. So when you cut through it, it'll all be together. If you don't have a thick layer of ganache or buttercream and you cut through it, it will all fall apart. So it's very, very important to be very generous with your ganache layer. Then add your cake as we did earlier. and seal the back again with some ganache. So seal it nice and flat. The flatter you get it, the more easier it will be to connect the two halves later together. So now I have both of them here, and then all I'm going to do is get one half, and I'm going to add some more tempered chocolate into my piping bag, and I'm going to pipe all around the rim of the Easter egg. And that way I'm going to use this as a glue to pop my other half on top. Fingers to kind of seal any excess chocolate that you have on the sides, or just kind of neaten it up. Pop it in the fridge and let it firm. When the chocolate has firmed and you want to kind of neaten up all the excess chocolate that you have kind of leaking on the sides or that dripped on the sides, put your knife in a cup of really hot water. So boil some hot water, pour it in a mug, and pop your knife in there. That blade would get really hot because of the water, and then that you just kind of rub against the excess chocolate and it will melt it away, because the blade being hot just melts the chocolate away, and that will will give us a nice seal, just to neaten up all the corners. So rub that knife gently around all the side, the whole entire rim of the Easter egg, and it will just give you a much neater, cleaner finish, and you won't be so obvious where all that chocolate is. And then just use a paper towel to kind of rub through it as well, and then just to clean up any excess chocolate that you have. Now, to cut through this cake, what you'd have to do is put a really large knife inside a big mug of hot water, and then you slice it through. Because whenever you have a cake that the case is made out of chocolate, you need a warm blade to kind of melt that chocolate as it cuts it through. So of course you can have now your Easter egg cake on a board and decorate it with some grass and Easter eggs, or you can put a lot of compound chocolate or tempered chocolate into a little cake board, and then just use that as a nice strong glue and hold your Easter egg into place till that chocolate sets onto your Easter egg and holds them. So you want a lot of chocolate. As you can see, I've put quite a bit onto it. After you've let it set and hold it for about maybe 20 seconds, a minute, depends. I let my chocolate be quite thick before I poured it on, so it wasn't so runny. It was already setting, and that way it sets even faster. And then I'm just going to use you can use a spoon or a fork just to neaten up the bottom. I also did want to mention, if you don't know how to temper your chocolate, I'll put the link at the end of this tutorial, but you can also use compound chocolate. Compound chocolate is very easy to use. It doesn't require any tempering. It's available in lots of countries. So I do have a full tutorial about compound chocolate, which I'll also put at the end of this video if you want to watch that, so you can get an idea of whether you should temper your chocolate or use a compound chocolate. But I hope you guys have a very safe and happy Easter. I hope you're enjoying these really quick tutorials that I'm going to be putting up. I'm putting up one more, another Easter nest one. So take care. Thanks so much for watching. Bye for now.